What's up, everybody? Alex here, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting the podcast. And if this is your first time here and you'd like to support the podcast, hit the little notification bell below and the subscribe button. It's one click for you, but it's actually a big help to us to keep the podcast growing, which is all that we want to do, is keep on providing you with some amazing jiu-jitsu content, grappling content, and just keep you guys laughing and having fun. With that being said, this podcast is brought to you by all of our awesome sponsors. Check out 𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘆𝘊. Go to 𝗶𝗂𝘆.com and use the promo code Jiu-Jitsu Radio at checkout to get 20% off some of the best gear in Jiu-Jitsu. Whether you're looking for patches, hats, t-shirts, stickers, you name it, they got it, and you'll get it all at a great discount. So it doesn't matter if it's brand new or on sale, you will still get the full 20% discount at checkout when you use the promo code Jiu-Jitsu Radio. Also, don't forget that just because your jiu-jitsu stinks doesn't mean that you have to. Go to jujitsusoapco.com, use the promo code JJRadio at checkout, and you'll get 15% off all of their soaps, their entire line. It doesn't matter what you buy, your entire cart will get 15% off. Hygiene is number one, so don't forget to check out all the accessories, all the other stuff that they have, for whether it's bath bombs or anything for your gi. They have some amazing products, and you'll get it at an awesome price when you use the promo code JJRadio at checkout. Finally, have you been watching all these pros compete and wonder, damn, where do they get all these custom patches put and heat pressed onto their gis? You can't find the right company, or maybe you thought you found a company and they ended up just leaving you hanging. Well, it doesn't happen with AJG Fight. Go to Instagram or Facebook, look up AJG Fight, and you will get the best prices, the best quality on customized heat transfer patches for your competition gi. Whether you want it on your gi, on your rash guard, your fight shorts, you name it, they can do it. Hit them up, let them know we sent you, you'll get taken care of. It's a small mom and pop run organization, so when you support them, you're supporting jiu-jitsu from the ground up. AJG Fight on Instagram and on Facebook. Now, with that being said, one last thing, please don't forget to check us out on Instagram, TikTok. Visit jujitsuradio.com to get all the latest stuff of everything that we're working on. Also, don't forget to check me out on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv/𝗏𝗏𝘅𝗏𝗏 and join me for some amazing gaming. We go anything from Modern Warfare to Sea of Thieves to even some Mario, Kaizo Mario, for those of you that know. If you don't, check it out. I also go on there to do some fight breakdowns, some grappling breakdowns. People have been sending me their matches for us to break down live on the stream. So if you got those videos, send them my way. I'd love to stream it and check it out live on the air with you guys. Now, with that being said, thank you so much for all the support. Let's get back to the party. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Jiu-Jitsu Radio. Oh, wait. Oh, cheers. Cheers. Get your drinks. Get your drinks. Cheers. Cheers to you guys. Cheers, Shawn. Cheers. Listen, it's been a crazy couple of weeks, man. But we got a lot to go over today. First things first, though, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that joined us again at the world-class grappling event at the Mr. Olympia. We had a freaking blast. We are working on the next one, so make sure you stay tuned because we're going to be doing another one very early next year, and you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be dope. We're adding some more divisions and maybe something else absolute related that you guys are gonna want to hear. So make sure you check it out. Shoot me some emails, whatever, a message if you got any questions about it. But it was a good event, man. The Olympia was nuts. It was a lot of fun. You should.
I was doing something that weekend myself.
You were competing.
I was competing,
and we had a goal,
and we missed that goal.
And we missed our goal, which is fine for me because I didn't lose any money. But it's not as good for you because, what'd you come out as? Why don't you fill us in?
We came in third at the Worlds, Master 4. Yeah.
Not feeling good about it, huh?
Not feeling good about it. I mean, I don't feel terrible because I basically I lost to the same guy I lost to the Gi Worlds. And in the same fashion, basically got caught in his guard and I could not get out. And when somebody's 6'7", it's it's a tall order to get out of those legs.
But what was his weight?
I would have to guess like 250-ish.
Oh yeah, at 6'7", 250, but he wasn't like chunky. He was kind of like muscle.
No. He's fit for sure.
Yeah, that's got to be a tough call. But I mean, listen, considering the fact that you couldn't compete for a couple of years because of your back and stuff,
yeah,
you know, that's not bad at all.
And here's the good thing. The good thing is, over the last 5 years, if I trained once a week, that was a lot. There were some weeks where I wouldn't even train.
Yeah.
And over the last, I would say, for the last month and a half, maybe month to a month and a half, I've actually been training 4 days a week.
That's awesome.
And sometimes 5 days, depending on, or at least 5 times, because on Fridays I normally do 2 a days, afternoon session and then an evening session. And my timing is feeling dead on. Everything feels great. Working on some new techniques as far as my bottom game is concerned. And it's just fun to be able to get back into it. Like I feel like I'm back into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But you know what's funny is that you saying, "Oh, I'm back to 4 days a week," we know that it means a lot, but for probably the younger guys are gonna sit there and listen like, "Oh, 4 days a week, bro, that's nothing. Like I'm going 6 days a week." It's different when you get older and you get more responsibilities, man. When you're young and you can sit there and, you know, screw off and go do whatever, and you got tons of free time on your hand, and, you know, you recover quick, it's different. It's a lot different. And you'll see everybody learns the same way. Whether it's the hard way, the easy way, you're going to learn it's like time constraints and injuries and stuff can be a pain in the butt.
Well, not only that, I mean, not only am I training 4 days a week, but I'm teaching 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So I don't roll when I teach.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to.
Yeah. Well, I the only time I'll ever roll anymore during one of my classes is if we are like odd numbers. Yeah. Other than that, but like I'm getting 20, anywhere from 14 to 20 guys on my no-gi class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it's like we really don't have the room for me to be rolling anyways.
Yeah.
But
you
we
take
normally
a
have
good
enough numbers.
Quarter of the mat.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a joke. It's not sitting there to say, but at our size, just as soon as you lay down and you have to roll around, you're taking up a quarter of the mat.
Yeah. And some people may not think 14 to 20 guys is a lot, but if you guys saw how little my school is, you guys would understand that, that is a lot.
I would say if you want a comparison, the space that you have at Temple for rolling would be the equivalent of one mat for IBJJF.
Yeah.
Like the IB. Yeah. The difference is that Temple, it's a rectangle. So if you took a IBJJF, just one mat squared, like chopped it in half and put it side by side, that would be close to the size of what Temple is. It would actually probably be a little bit bigger lengthwise, but widthwise it would be around that. And you have punching bags in the way.
Yeah.
And people are still training hard and getting good. I gotta fix this. I feel like I'm not level. There we go. So that's good though, man. I mean, listen. So what's the plan for the next one? What do you want to do next?
I don't know. I was actually talking to, Sam McCoy.
Yeah.
He comes to Temple on Mondays and Wednesday mornings. So he's doing the new breed, and I was going to do the new breed because Jay-Z and I have been talking about doing the smaller tournaments and then working on the stuff we're not great at.
Yeah.
So like I was thinking about doing the new breed and then doing all pulling guard.
Isn't that one there this weekend?
It's on the 6th, November 6th.
November 6th, right? I mean,
So,
I thought, to me, guard is your thing. Half guard
No,
anyway. You're saying full guard.
no. Half guard is my thing. But the thing is, in competition, I don't like to pull guard.
Yeah.
Especially in the ultra heavyweight division. Normally, you get underneath one of these ultra heavyweights, and that's it. That's it. So it's like I don't have the confidence to pull guard in competition yet. So the idea it might be to start pulling guard in these smaller competitions just to work on it and see where I go.
You're going to pull a Gabby.
What do you mean?
And you say, oh, I'm going to work on my guard, and then get choked out and all this other stuff and say, oh, it's because I'm working on my guard.
Oh, all whatever.
I mean, that's the defense you gave her. You said that she was pulling guard, and I said no black belt should sit there and have that week of a guard as Gabby does.
Well, I said she pulled guard. I didn't say she did it to work on it. I just said that's something that she doesn't normally do.
Well, that's what she mentioned, is that she wanted to start pulling guard or working more on her guard in competition. So, I mean, like, I think your guard is definitely way better than hers on that. I think top-wise, like, she might have you beat on the top heavy game.
I don't know. That's kind of like...
You don't think Gabby could pass your guard?
I don't know. She might. I don't know.
Don't duck it, bro. Don't duck the question.
I'd roll with her.
I don't think I'd roll with her.
I would. She's closer to my size than most guys are.
This is true. This is very true. Yeah, I wonder. I think how much would she? Well, she's probably weighing like 275 now.
No. I think she's like more around 230-ish.
No, she's bigger than 230. No way. Do they have what she weighed in at 80 cc?
No, well, I don't know, but she didn't weigh in.
Yeah, well, that's what
obviously,
I'm saying. She had to be 240, 250.
I don't know.
Because I'm weighing 240 now, and I see that. I was like, that's a 240 woman right there. That's a 240 woman. But, I mean, that's good, though. Listen, third place is good considering that you haven't been competing as much as you used to, and then just to work on it. I might do a couple of those new breeds with you guys. I need to get more back into no-gi. I was just having that conversation the other day, so I'm going to start working with a couple of the guys doing just more of the no-gi stuff. And go have some fun with that, since I don't do much no-gi as much as I should or want to anyway. So it should be
Friday
fun.
nights at Temple are hopping.
Yeah, so wait, there's no more sparring Friday night?
No, well, what happened? No, that's been gone.
Oh, I didn't know.
And then since Palm Beach, pardon me, since Palm Beach Jiu-Jitsu shut down, I moved the open mat that was happening there to Temple.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, so the mat's all taken up.
Yeah, it's fun. We're having a good time.
So we have a lot of stuff to go over, but there's one thing that I think that we have not addressed that we should be addressing and talking about, and that's Dylan Danis. That is the one thing that we keep on putting off because it's so absolutely absurd of what happened. And now he actually came out the other day. He did an interview where he was defending himself, saying why everything happened.
Said he was showing his passport and his COVID.
So
passport.
hold on. So let's go back. So about a month or so ago, right? About a month now, maybe a little more. Dylan Danis, or a video comes out of Dylan Danis where he is at a bar getting choked out, and the person choking him out is the bouncer at the club, who we come to find out after the fact that had zero jiu-jitsu training. At least from my recollection of reading the articles, the guy had zero training.
Yeah, zero training.
And Dylan got choked out by that. So what happened was Dylan was trying to come in. Him and his boys decided they wanted to go to the bar, and Dylan didn't have any ID. He didn't have his passport. He had zero ID, and he wanted to go in. So he's like, "Do you not know who I am?" And he pulls out his phone and he Googles himself, which is probably the most conceited thing that you could possibly do, because you're nobody. Let's be honest. Dylan Danis is nobody. and tried to show like, this is me. And the
But
bouncer
that's
said,
not what he said.
what?
He said he has, because there are digital IDs now.
Yes, but that's not what he was flashing. What he
That's
did.
what he said. That's what he said.
No, he Googled himself and
No,
he
if you
showed the
listen
guy.
to-
You're
listen
talking
to
about
his-
the interview that he did now.
Yes.
Okay.
His statement is he goes, I wasn't using Google. I was showing my digital ID.
Hold on. Well, let's. We're going. That first part of the conversation is based off of what the bouncer said, is that Dylan, the bouncer was sitting there telling him, I need an ID, and what he thought was Dylan Googled himself and was flashing him. He's like, bro, that's not an ID. I need an ID. Like, you Googling yourself doesn't mean anything to me. I need a physical ID. Things got heated, and then it ended up where the guy took him down, took his back, choked him out. Now, the video goes viral, goes everywhere as far as in the jiu-jitsu community. Everybody clowns him. You could see the, the ankle bracelet, whatever, the ankle monitor on Dylan's legs, which means trying to find out why he's wearing that, because there's clearly something that he's gotten in trouble for in the past. Video goes everywhere. The bouncer gets interviewed. I forget where he got offered to go train. Somebody offered to train him or whatever for free.
I think it was Tom 𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘆𝑔.
Yes, it was Tom 𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘆𝑔. He sat there and said, oh, come in, I'll train you, which, great, cool, hilarious, great. That guy, listen, if he's doing that, that's great. The guy's got promise. Now, with the interview that you're talking about, Dylan comes back out saying he thought the guy was a cop, which is why he didn't fight back. That's his statement. His statement was that the guy was pretending to be a cop, so that's why Dylan didn't fight back, which to me, that's BS. That's not true. You're not trying to get into a bar talking to a cop. That's just the way that it is. So I think that is his only story to try and make it believable as to why he would let technically a white belt get his back and choke him out.
Well, not even a white belt.
Not even.
Not even.
I mean, technically anybody who just starts is a white belt, right? So the guy didn't even start yet.
By the way, that's not how traditionally it used to be done. You had to earn your white belt as well.
How so?
Back in the day, it was you didn't get a belt until a couple months in. You had to earn that white belt.
I never knew that. I never heard that. I'm going to have to do my research on that one. It sounded to me like they're just waiting for fees. Like, oh, we're going to charge you an extra $100 before you get that white belt. Which, by the way, I've never liked the fact that people charge to get the next belt. I've never liked that.
No, me neither.
I don't think you should ever charge someone to grant them the next level. Like, I think that's I don't know. That's
either they earn it or they don't. So what are you going to do? What do you got a guy that doesn't want to pay for his belt? But now you got a white belt.
And that happens. That happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think for everybody it's a money grab. I think for a lot of schools it's a money grab. It's just another way to charge them, especially because it's really the kids that have to pay out the butt, or the parents of the kids that have to pay out the butt for it. Because what, you got to go white, gray with a white stripe, right? Or then gray with a black stripe, and then yellow with a black stripe, then green,
I hate
gray.
I hate that whole thing.
Think about it. That's already what, 100, 200, 300. You're spending $400, $500 before you even make it to a blue belt. And you can try and use the excuse of saying, well, it's for motivations for the kids to keep going.
Well, if it's for motivation, they shouldn't have to pay for it.
Exactly. It shouldn't come out. So can you imagine? What do you do? That's the worst power play you could possibly do, because you're saying, you get the kid all hyped up. It's like, oh, congratulations, Mikey. Here's your belt. It's like, yeah. And then what? The parent's going to be like, bro, I can't afford $50 for this belt. Like, I can't afford that. What do you mean? Oh, well, then I'm going to have to take that back. Like, some parents are, I mean, I can tell you from my parents, which is why I never did martial arts or anything as a kid, they couldn't afford that. They can't afford those barely afford the monthly payments to get a kid into a class. Now you're going to add on little, like, things like that. Imagine if they start charging for stripes.
Yeah, well, here's the whole thing. I think it is a money grab. I don't think an instructor. You're getting paid 100 or some schools are like 200 bucks a
200,
month.
250, yeah.
Yeah, if you can't afford to pitch out for a belt for your student, then you're doing something wrong.
I mean, if you think about it, because you're never getting, it's not like you're getting a show-your-old belt or you're getting a freaking...
No, you're getting a cheap $14 belt from Amazon.
Right. It's like, listen, man, you can take that hit for the student, considering the fact that they're paying 200 bucks a month. It shouldn't be do or die for the gym that way. So it's, I don't know. Anyway, that was a total sidetrack, but I've never understood that. I have never understood
Yeah, me neither.
why people do that. And to me, that's kind of, it's kind of, it's kind of dingy. It's kind of cheap. Like, just give your things about. Some people you'll get where they say, oh, so you can say, you got it up for the part of the affiliation fees and moving up, so you're in the data bank for us. Like, shut up. Just give them the damn belt. No one's gonna sit there and go back and forth with that. But anyway, moving on. Other things that have happened. One of the latest things that happened was Mikey moving on to the Daisy Fresh team with Tammy and Dante Leon, which made the news right after he got a record time submission on Alarcon with what people wanted to call the Mikey Lock. So now, once he said that, all hell broke loose. I didn't even bother messaging you because I already knew it. It's like, first of all, if you know grappling and you do some research, there's catch wrestling a long, long time ago.
But nothing is new.
Nothing is new. I mean, you could have new ways of connecting things, but when it comes to locks, chances are catch wrestling already beat you to it, right? Maybe sometimes even Aikido, depending on like wrist locks or something fancy and stuff like that. I will give Aikido that credit, as much of BS as it is, but it's catch wrestling. So while everybody was super stoked to see it, obviously people that are younger that don't know as much about grappling history were, oh, check out the Mikey Lock. Oh, we're going to try that. Oh, tagging each other on Instagram on the highlights and stuff. I guess you could call me the grumpy old guy. The bitter guys like us were like, no, sorry, already been done. And we're friends with Mikey, but listen, already been done. Hate to take it away from you, Mikey, but you didn't invent something new, buddy. You didn't invent anything new. Now, with that being said, I can show you how far back this goes. I'm pretty sure you saw. Did you see this already?
Yes, I did.
So for those of you that didn't see it, I'm going to pull it up right now. Let me get this over here. Now, as you all know, if you've been listening to the podcast, I'm a huge Boss Rutan fan. I'm a big Boss Rutan fan. So I already saw this. I already knew what was going on. So check this out. And let me go ahead and here and share this. Can you see my screen?
I can.
All right. So this is an old instructional video. Now this was posted in 2019, but this is like 80s, early 90s, like Boss Rutan videos right here. This is way, way back. All right. You can tell it's VHS. You see that nice square, was it 4:3 ratio? Check this out. He's already got the setup going. Let me get the audio so you guys hear it. Come on, play. There we go.
Also, such a badass.
Oh, that was so good. So, I'll bump it back a little bit. This is actually a really, really good instructional video that if you guys can get it, pick it up. Obviously, you can see it's here on YouTube. That tap timed so well, it sounds like he snapped the ankle.
Yeah. Or the knee.
Yeah. Good setup.
Yeah, but his bar series is way better.
Oh, yeah. There you
He's
go.
not even controlling the legs.
Yeah, you saw that? His legs were kind of loose, but obviously he's just doing it for the show. And I mean, it's not that techniques can't be improved upon, for sure. But there you go. It's not the Mikey Lock. You could call it the Mikey Lock if it makes you feel better, but it's been done before. It's the same with like the Estima.
You know what I would
Lock.
call it? I would call it the El Guapo.
El Guapo Lock. Can we call it the Guapo Lock? And you have to be this. To me, this is one of those holds or submissions where you're all in. You're all in on it because having somebody's foot like right here, like you have to really be about the goal and not so much where you're like, oh, because some people got dirty ass feet.
I don't know if you saw my Instagram over the weekend, but Jay-Z
You did
and
Instagram?
Somebody did a story and I shared it.
Oh, okay.
I was at Jay-Z's on Saturday and we were playing footsies, and Jay-Z goes for that lock all the time.
Yeah, listen, Jay-Z is old school, man.
No, it's a luta livre thing.
Yeah.
Which comes from catch wrestling. So it's like he goes for that stuff on me all the time.
Yeah. He's the first person that ever leg locked me. Didn't I tell you that?
No.
I still have the photo. So when I first started training at 𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘁𝗆 and the 𝗏𝗡𝐿𝑖ans, I already knew who Jay-Z was. Actually, shout out to Jay-Z. I got the action figure here in case you forgot. Shout out to Jay-Z. Yeah, I was already a fan of Jay-Z like before I even started training there. I knew who he was. So then I remember as a white belt getting to train with him the first time, and we were in gi. And next thing you know, like my foot was right next to his hip, and I knew it wasn't supposed to be there. I was like, good thing you can't leg lock white belts, huh? And he looks at me, starts smiling. He's like, who said that? I was like, well, that's the rule, isn't it? He's like, no. And then he goes, straight ankle lock. The first time I ever felt a straight ankle lock. And I have pretty flexible ankles. And I was like, oh, that's not that bad. But I tapped. I wasn't trying to play it smart. He showed me like, no, it's there, bro. That was it. Man, that night, and I still have this post, that night my foot was hurting so bad. So I sat there and the next day I iced it up and I took a photo of it and I tagged him. I was like, oh, like finally got to feel my first leg lock. Thanks, Jay-Z, or something like that. And he like writes back, he's like, oh my God, dude, you okay? I'm so sorry. It's like, that's how nice of a person he is, where it wasn't like, there wasn't any malice, but he felt so bad. He hit me up. He messaged me saying like, oh man, you're all right. I was like, yeah, dude, I was just doing it like for the post. Don't worry. So, I mean, like, yeah, don't worry. I actually did have to ice my ankle. It's not like I was playing that part out, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't walk ever again.
I have my own Jay-Z action figure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I can't see that. It's too bright. You got to cover. Oh, the Yoda, the little baby Yoda. Not anymore. He's got his hair back.
Yeah, I know.
You need a new one now. Yeah, but it's funny just because man, this is why I love grappling. This is why I love like this art so much. There's so much information that is lost. There is so much stuff that is lost. That's why I like talking to guys like Neil there and Jay-Z. There's so much history out there. There's so much stuff that is just completely lost that it comes back around again and people are like, oh, check out this thing that I figured out. It's like, no, man, that's old. That's old news.
When I win the lottery, because that's going to happen, I'm going to buy a trailer, a really nice trailer, really nice big truck.
I'm going to move to Canada.
No, I'm going to travel to all these places to train with people. Like I'm going to move. I think he's in Texas. I think Neil moved to Texas. Go to Texas. I'm going to train with Neil for like 3 months. Then I'm going to maybe go to Las Vegas and train with Josh Barnett for 3 months. Then
I would love that.
I'm going to go to back to Texas and train with Danaher for 3 months. Then, I'm just going to go everywhere I can once I win the lottery and just train and live at these places and get to know these guys and just soak up the knowledge. That's all I ever wanted from jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Was to soak up the knowledge.
I would love for a chance to train catch wrestling with 𝗁𝗂𝘂𝘶𝗂𝘶. I would love to sit there and train with 𝗁𝗂𝘂𝘶𝗂𝘂𝘶.
Yeah, I think you'll get more from Neil.
Oh, I would get a ton more from Neil, but I would love to be able to sit there and say I got to train with 𝗁𝗂𝘂𝘶𝗂𝘂𝘶. I'd love to be able to train with Neil for 3 months, just solid, of just nonstop, just every day. I would go every day just training. Like Danaher, I mean, just sitting there and training or watching training when he was when they were still in New York, and just sitting there and documenting it and stuff. You would have to dedicate an entire year, at least, of your life to go to train with Danaher 6 days a week to get even the top of the surface of the information that he has, because you would really have to start from ground zero. You can't just jump in, 3 ways down to train. You have to start from square one to really get the maximum impact of it. I'm sure that he could sit there and give you little tips and details and stuff here and there, but the way his system is and the way how detailed he is, you have to go from square one all over again to relearn jiu-jitsu in his way, which is not bad. I mean, it would be great.
I also want to train with Marcelo Garcia. Train with him, learn his half guard system.
But does he still coach like he used to, where he's in there? I don't feel like it's really him coaching as much anymore.
Well, no, I just talked to Blake. Dog trainer Blake.
Yeah.
He just got his purple belt from him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. But is he training under Marcelo directly, or is he just training at the academy?
No, he trains with Marcelo.
That's weird. I mean, I heard so many different rumors of where it's not really him that much anymore, and he's got all these other students. But I mean, listen, I would love to learn from him too. I mean,
there's a few guys that I would just love to soak up their knowledge. I would like to go up to, I think, is it Minnesota where Eric Paulson is?
Oh yeah, with Eric, I would love to sit there and work. I really would like to work with Josh Barnett and just learn a ton of his stuff. I mean, the amount of pain that you would be in of working with Josh Barnett is nutty. I feel like working with Neil would be less painful than working with Josh Barnett, physically wise.
I think Neil might be. I don't know. Neil's a big dude, though.
No, Neil's a big dude, but I feel like he's probably better at understanding. It's like, guys, you don't have to go, balls to the wall, just go through the motions, this, that, and the other. I feel like Josh would probably be like, smash, 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 just nonstop. And I mean, everything he does is meant to hurt. But Neil has a lot of, I think, did he put out another DVD? I think Neil put out another DVD.
Well, he just said he filmed two more.
Yeah.
He just said he filmed 2.
So, listen, I can tell you, it is worth the buy. The 𝗂𝗃𝗃 video is really, really good. Pick them up. There's so much information. I mean, I'm probably going to sit down and watch this 𝗏𝗧𝘂𝑅utin video again just to see, because you should revisit those kinds of DVDs because there's information that you missed or it wasn't even in your head when you first watch one of these things, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, that would be good. That'd be great to do. Why not? You know what I mean? There's a lot of good ones. Nothing beats the Mario Sperry instructional.
Nothing?
Nothing beats the Mario Sperry instructional.
Really?
You've watched it.
I don't know. I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No.
You haven't? I wish I could pull it up right now. I can't play it. He would get Me Too'd so hard, or he would get cancel cultured so hard if that video got back around to being popular again. Just because, and he doesn't, oh, he does say bad stuff, but he's sitting there showing ground and pound. He's like, you got to hit him. None of those pussy punches. And it's just like that over and over again. You just like, bam, bam, bam. It's just, there's highlight videos of it where he just goes nonstop. It's like, man, you could tell the difference of how people just carried themselves on video back then compared to now. Before, the internet. But it's still good. I mean, he gives some good instructional videos. Listen, I would love to go train with Mario a little bit too. Mario's got a ton of knowledge. You're talking about an 𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘁𝗶𝗳𝘆 competitor there.
No, I trained with him when he was at the 𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘁𝘁𝘁𝘆s.
Yeah, no, I remember.
It was fun.
Dude, I remember watching him. It was towards the end of the 𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘁𝘁𝘆s, watching him spar and then grapple with Thiago Silva. And he was putting it on him. And he was probably late 40s at that point. Dude,
Yeah.
he was putting it on Thiago. They were having a brawl.
He didn't so much as teach class as he led class.
Yeah.
It was like he's a player coach.
Yeah. He's definitely, I mean, I doubt that it is now, but when he could still move around and do everything, I mean, he's alpha male. You're following the alpha male in the room, running around, and you're just got to copy what he's doing. I mean, he was coaching still pretty hard when he was coaching at Hard Knocks, because I went there. He's coaching classes, and he rolls pretty good with the guys whenever he's showing the techniques. So
yeah, and his guys do pretty good in competition.
Yeah, listen, Mario's. I feel that he probably has certain techniques and stuff that he probably still only shows like a handful of guys, because that was like the old thing. I forget who it was that told me the story. Somebody was, I want to say, it might have been Jay-Z. It was either Jay-Z or it was Carlos, where they were telling me about like how they would train those guys, where they would come in and it's, you're over there, you're not training, but if you're coming up to this top floor, like we're banging, and it's, invite only, and they only showed certain techniques to those guys. It was very like secretive on the training type and stuff like that, but it was invite only, and it was just all out
at the
brawls.
𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘁𝘁𝘁s.
No, not at 𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘁𝘁𝘁𝘁s. It's like back in Brazil, when they were young, when it was like Laborio,
when it was Carlson Gracie team.
Yeah, when it was like Laborio, Sperry, and all those guys. I mean, if you look at it, even today, if you had those guys out there today, I mean, that would be a killer squad to have. I'll have to pull up some of the old photos for it. But yeah, so anyway, back to Dillon Danis, pulling out the whole phone saying, "This is me." Like, no, man. I would still probably fall under the bracket of believing the bouncer over believing Dillon, which, by the way, he looked like crap in that interview. Did you see him?
No.
Dude, he was like, I don't think it was the camera angle, but that dude definitely gained like 20, 30 pounds the wrong way.
I you know me, I believe that the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. I just, like, not when it comes to Dillon.
He might have showed him the stuff, and the guy's like, that's not legit. He goes, "My name's Dillon Danis. I'm an MMA fighter. Here, let me show you. Yeah. Like, this is me. Like you could, like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
I would 100% believe that he Googled himself and flashed that. I don't think that he used the phone ID. I would 100% believe that he sat there and said, "Me." I'm like, "Who the hell are you?"
I don't know. I've never met the dude, so I don't know him.
I mean, listen, when I met him, it was a brief, like, "Hey, how's it going?" Took his photo, like, didn't sit there and talk. But he like oozes ego. He oozes ego, and that was before he was hanging out with Conor. Now that he was with Conor and stuff, I mean, you see it everywhere. I don't think it's a persona. I think it's a legitimate issue, because that's the same reason why he got kicked out of Marcelo's. It was his ego. So who knows? Who knows why? The other big story before we get into following up with Gordon coming back. If you don't listen to the Jason Chambers podcast, I definitely suggest you go listen to it. I'm a big fan of Jason Chambers. He lives down here. I believe he trains down at the Henzo's down in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I've seen him coaching at tournaments.
Yeah, he's a super nice dude. I've been wanting to get him on the podcast. We definitely, I'll have to reach out to him and get him on here. Nice, way to go. On his podcast last week, he had Nicky Rod, and Nicky went and made a statement explaining as to a relatively vague statement, but it kind of goes a lot deeper than what might sound. Discussing why the Danaher Death Squad broke up and why he left and the rest of the guys left. So I'm actually going to pull it up so you guys hear for yourself. You're not hearing hearsay from me, and then we can discuss it. Where are we? Here we go. Let me go ahead and pull this sucker up and share it with you guys. So if you're watching us on YouTube, obviously you're going to get to see it. But if you're listening to us on Spotify and iTunes, don't forget to go follow the YouTube channel. Then here we go. Let's see. Share. And let's do it this way. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
No sound.
Oh, you're not getting any sound?
No.
All right, hold on. Oh, thank you for telling me. Let's do it this way then. Let me stop the share. Oh, man, of course. But you heard it the other time.
Yeah.
Okay, I know why then. Let's do it this way. How about now? Can you hear
bit.
it?
Yeah.
All right.
But not too loud though. It's barely up.
How about now?
Can barely hear it.
Barely hear it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty loud.
Not on my end.
All right, let me see. How about now?
Nope.
Nothing? Oh, man. Well, they'll hear it. They'll hear it here. Like, can you barely hear it, or can you just not hear it completely?
I can barely hear it. It's like very quiet, but it might be different on your end. So
Yeah, no. If they'll hear it here for me. So I'll just keep going.
How did you guys decide to split that up? And is that a real thing? I gotta ask you. A lot of people are like, "Nah, this is a marketing ploy." And I said, "I don't know, man. I think that this might just be a different." It seems like, if it's a marketing ploy, it's we hate you, but that's not it. It seems like you guys are just amicably deciding to go different routes, unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, there were some issues within the team. Certain people had certain issues with really one person, and I think of any you got to cut the poison out. Whatever's hurting the team or hurting the majority of the people, you kind of have to eliminate that and focus on competition. So at B team, we're focused on getting better, and that's about all we're focused on. We focus on training, having fun, enjoying the process of becoming the greatest grapplers in the world, and we're doing our best to keep out all distractions and all negativity. So that's kind of our reason for just kind of doing our own thing.
So do you know if because you guys are both in like Austin, Texas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll just keep it at there. So that part. So he says that we had to cut the poison out, and that really everybody had just an issue with one person. So assuming that they're talking about Gordon. So because really I doubt it was Gary. So it's really
could have been John too. You don't know. John
it could have been. Could have been John.
To get along to.
I'm sure. With. So, I mean, that says a lot. I have a feeling that more and more will leak out as time goes on. But the fact that somebody went out there, I mean, when I hung around them, backstage before like a competition or hanging out with them for seminars and stuff like that, everybody seems super tight. Super tight. So whatever happened must have been really, really cut in deep that kind of split the team up that way, which is kind of crazy. But the fact that Nicky came out and said something and nobody else has said anything, I'm assuming that Nicky must be really pissed at the fact that they had to split up, because it takes a lot for people to break up when the squad is that well known. They're basically together, 20 hours in the day when they were all training, living in the same house and everything else. This is actually a really good episode of the Jason Chambers podcast. The interview was really good. I definitely suggest you guys go check it out. But, I mean, it says a lot.
I still think it's work.
See, he even asked him. He's like, some people say that this is a marketing ploy, and he's like, no, we had to cut the poison. I don't see it as a marketing ploy because there would be more money out of it.
I find it weird that they still ended up in the same city.
Well, I mean, they had to. It's the best choice. It's either Florida or it's Texas, right? There's nowhere else in the United States that you can really go and still have as close to all your freedoms as possible as those two states.
No, 100%. But the fact that they chose, like, they are in the same city. I mean, they are competing for the same pool. I would of students. I would have been like, let's go where nobody is. Let's go to Florida.
See, now this is where I think it gets a little bit deeper. I think Flow Grappling is involved in this because Flow Grappling is still following them and filming them. So they probably threw them some money, say, hey, come to Austin. That way it's easier for Flow Grappling to film them. And they'll say, take care of a bunch of people. And again, it still comes down to the same thing. It makes sense. They're not going to go to Houston or this and that and the other. You have Third Coast Grappling is close by. Flow Grappling is right there. So they're going to be in the center of everything. They can do all the interviews right there in the studio. They can do whatever they need. I mean, if you look at the interview, like that, he's in the bathroom. I mean, Nicky Rod is doing the interview right there next to the shower. So who knows what the hell's going on. But, I mean, I think Flow is throwing them money, each on both sides, saying, hey, you guys come over here. And, that way we can film you. We'll pay you guys to do this, that, and the other. Whatever ad revenue comes in, like you guys get a percentage of that. For sure, Flow Grappling is going to try and get into the BJJ Fanatics pool by doing instructionals. So I guarantee you there's going to end up being a Flow Grappling instructional with the B team. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. If they were smart business people, they would try and do that. It just makes sense. It just makes sense, of course. Where are they going to go? They're not going to go to Houston. They're not going to go to Dallas. They're not going to go to...
I think Florida would have been a good idea because we have warmer weather. We have,
But Flow would still have to fly somebody out to come here. And who are they going to train with down here? They would have to start their own team again, right?
Well, they're not started their own team regardless.
Right, but it's different when you're going into Texas that doesn't have major teams. Down here you have Fight Sports, and then you have tons of 𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘆𝘆s. You have tons of 𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘆𝘆s out in Texas, sure, but there's no Autos. There's no big Autos anyway. So why wouldn't you?
There's no big Autos here.
I mean, there is an Autos in Miami.
There's an
now.
Autos, but it's not like a...
It's not big, but it's still Autos. And the competition in the amount of schools that are here is probably a lot stronger than the competition that you have building over in Austin. Considering that, like I said, they're either...
Well, there's a lot of schools in Austin.
Yeah.
That's where Cam moved to, and he says they're all over the place.
Yeah, well, now. But you had
this is when
10th
he
Planet
moved
Austin. Remember they have 10th Planet Austin stuff,
yeah.
But... I think everything is moving towards Texas becoming more of the mecca of grappling, if you will, than Florida is. Because Florida is really rough. We have a lot of schools. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of schools. But Florida is really, really rough when it comes to the jiu-jitsu community. I think here...
What do you mean?
I think people here are definitely a lot more cliquey. And people here just have a mindset of... everything is too far. So that's why all tournaments are always down in Miami, barely in Fort Lauderdale anymore. It's just Miami. And then you'll have Orlando, right? How many people compared to an IBJJF Orlando versus IBJJF Miami, right? That's just the way it is. People will not drive more than 45 minutes away for the most part. In Texas, I think people are more accustomed to having to drive a couple of hours to get someplace. But very rarely do you see people, oh, I live in Miami. I'm going to drive to compete all the way up up to Orlando. Barely to Fort Lauderdale, but definitely not Orlando. I mean, you'll have people that train in Tampa won't drive to Orlando to compete. I think in Texas, people are more accustomed to saying like, oh, we're going to drive here to compete for the weekend. I think they're more used to that, and I think they're going to have a lot more younger people going to Texas than they do to Florida. I don't think that we have as many younger people in Florida as Texas does now.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like with their name, they could go anywhere.
I agree. I agree.
I think they could have gone anywhere, and I just again, and I understand why they're going to Austin. Flows based out of there, but I get that 100%. But I just find it fishy, that they're all in the same place. So it's like,
I think,
and and like what was funny is like before the last Who's Number One, not the one that just happened on Wednesday with Gordon, but the one before, everybody was working out at the B team's place.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think that the level of openness is different. I think everybody that is super high level at a higher belt ranking are going to go towards the Death Squad, but the B team opened up to, tryouts for purple belts. It's only purple belts and up that can go in there, which is great because that's going to be younger people that can roll with Nicky, Ryan, and then you're going to leave it open for bigger wrestler guys that are just fresher into jiu-jitsu coming in for Nicky Rod, and then Craig is going to go after whoever.
Yeah, and I think keeping it at purple belt is a bad move.
What do you mean?
There are some blue belts that are killer.
Oh, absolutely, dude. There's some serious blue belts, and I showed you. There's the teens that are sitting there going after adults.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
That kid is disgusting.
Yeah,
and like the people he was going against were disgusting. These kids were just nonstop movement. It was crazy. So it's like, it's like you go anywhere.
I think that is really more of a administrative decision to do that, because then you're going to get the white belts that it's like, oh, I want to come train with you guys. And then you have to waste your time teaching them. At purple belt, you should at least have a good foundation.
Isn't that the idea of a school, is to teach?
No, not for these guys. These guys don't want to sit there and teach. You're going to learn, what they know, but they want people that are at least going to be able to give them some kind of competition, some kind of push to get better. Imagine if you have to sit there and go back now. Okay, then you get into the spot where these black belts have to go and teach the white belts and the blue belts and do this, do that. Then you're not going to have the energy and the time for your own training, and you're the elite level competitors right now. You don't have time for that. You don't have time to sit there and teach white belts, So it makes sense to me. I think with Gordon doing that over there, is just he's going to have all the higher up guys that really want to grind out to be, the next Gordon Ryan, but also want to get a little bit of the fanboy stardom. Oh, well, I get to train with Gordon Ryan, so you should put me on the card. I think part of it is that. But who knows? Only time will tell. Like I said, this has only been a couple of months, and Nicky Rod came out and said that. That means to me that if Gordon comes back and he throws something out there, I think it'll escalate. But if Gordon doesn't say anything in return, then you're probably going to have, no, what's the word I'm looking for? No increase in the back and forth. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny is
escalate. Yeah, that's the word.
Danaher wasn't there coaching, but Gordon was at the Worlds.
Danaher, that's always been the case. Even in New York, Danaher never came out to coach anybody.
Yeah, he did.
There's tons of photos and videos of Gordon cornering his people and stuff at like IBJJF New York for no-gis and stuff like that. Danaher can barely freaking walk right. He's not going to go out there and run back and forth all day. I think maybe if it was like somebody asked him, I'm sure... I'm not going to throw this out there. I'm not trying to disrespect the guy, but I'm sure if you wanted him to corner you, you'd probably be like, bro, you're going to have to pay me. For me to walk my ass all the way down to IBJJF and go and corner the purple belt or something, you're going to have to pay me. Now, I don't think he would do that. I think he cares about people enough, but I think it would take a lot to get Danaher to come out for an IBJJF like that. Maybe if it was like the ADCC trials, for sure he would be out there. I think Danaher is bigger than IBJJF.
I don't know. I would think he would come out to at least the Worlds.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? I mean, he might have other reasons, but I mean, I think it takes a lot for him to get on a plane and have to deal with all that. I mean, with his hip and all that stuff. I think it probably.
Well, it's a 3-hour ride from Austin to Dallas
without traffic, because I've done that. I've done that drive, and it is a brutal drive if there's traffic. Somehow, Texas, a wide, giant open state, has horrible traffic. It's going to get worse now that so many people are there, but I love Texas. Texas is such a nice spot. Even I was this close at the beginning of this year moving to Texas. I told you that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like this close, and man, whatever. It is what it is. So, but speaking of Gordon, did you watch the Philip Rowe match?
I did.
What'd you think?
I think Gordon was taking it easy on him the whole entire time.
I think so too. I think
there was no point. I think he put out at the most 60% effort.
No, not even.
At the most, I'm saying.
Yeah.
At other times it was like 30% effort.
Which I think it's also kind of, listen, I have nothing but respect for Philip Rowe. I was a fan of his before. But man, to do that, to come in, it was basically just a drilling session, just a flow roll almost, if you will, for Gordon. I think Philip tried to do as much as he could, all things considered, but did you hear about what he was going through and everything else?
Who?
Philip.
No, I don't know.
So, I mean, his hand was broken. His arm's broken. Obviously, he still competed. Never talked about backing out. Lost a family member like the same week of the match. And his mom got diagnosed with cancer a month ago. So it's like one thing after another for this guy. And he still came in positive vibes. By the way, I completely freaking love the Jordan tribute with the rash guard and stuff. I would definitely pick one up. Even though it's just like a tank top more than a rash guard, but I was kind of dope. I give him credit for that.
And he came in giving
the
gifts
boombox.
Yeah,
he gave Gordon a boombox and stuff.
Boombox.
So
that's actually his company. I didn't know. I had no.
Oh,
idea.
really? I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's Philip Rowe's company.
I might have to pick one up then and go support the homie. But man, dude, I got nothing but respect for the guy, because most people barely want to sit there and compete against Gordon. They're not going to sit there and take that. And he knew he was going to get tapped out. So he got tapped out 4 times. And I don't think he wasn't trying. I think he's just physically, that's the best he can do. And he was probably just trying to make sure he wasn't going to hurt himself. But I'm sure it was kind of an agreement like, hey, man, let's just go have fun. Just roll, whatever happens, and then go for it. Gordon had nothing to lose. For him, it was probably more of an advertisement for the DVD coming out. But
that's what he wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Putting himself in bad positions and then working his way out of them.
Yeah. I would love to have Gordon just do an exhibition match with like Gilbert. That'd be fun, because I mean, I have the footage. You know what? I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to edit the video. I'm going to put it out there, the roll between Gilbert and Gordon. And actually, I have some of Gilbert with Nicky Rod. That was a really good roll. It was really good. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't care anymore. I just don't care. I have so much good footage of good training sessions with all these guys, man. And I've always been like respectful and stuff. But then I go see all the videos that are out there that go viral and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, and nobody's pissed off. None of these fighters get pissed off at these guys releasing these videos. Fuck it. I'm trying to be TikTok famous too.
Why would they be mad? It's exposure for them.
No. A lot of guys get mad. You know how many times? I can't even begin to tell you the amount of times in my career videoing and photographing these guys that I've heard, hey, don't film any of this because we don't want any of this out there. Or, hey, you can't put that out there. Or, no, I don't show that. Like, delete it. Like, I've had people sit there and tell me to delete it. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're just doing an armbar. This isn't some kind of secret thing. And it's funny because some of the people that have asked me to sit there and don't film this, or we don't want this, don't send this out because we don't want it, aren't even that big, aren't even that good. And like, bro, you're just doing a guard pass. This isn't some kind of, ancient Chinese secret you got going on here. But people are like that. People sit there, don't show this. Don't show this. We don't want any of this stuff out there. Like, all right, okay. No one's going to see you get somebody in an armbar. Like, there's nothing that I have ever seen that makes me want to be like, hey, man, I can't show this because this is the game plan. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and I think here's the thing. I don't like the fact that I have matches on Flow Grappling.
And you don't get paid?
It has nothing to do with getting paid. I just don't want people knowing my game. You know what I'm saying? So
Listen,
I'd rather my stuff wasn't out there, but
get better, get gooder.
Well, yeah, but it's like I'd rather I can understand not wanting your stuff out there, but at the same time,
get gooder.
What are you going to do about it? Like this, we're living in the digital age.
Or, I mean, you can be like Gordon Ryan and just have DVDs that literally show note for note everything that you do and still not get stopped. I'm just telling you, be Gordon Ryan, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Get gooder.
Well, all it needs is a cowboy hat and some jeans.
Bro, oh my gosh, how cringe was that? Listen, I love the guy, but how cringe was his like, I should have worn my cowboy hat. I love my cowboy hat, but he was so cringe on that. Oh, man. It's one of those things that, like, if you did that in high school and then 25, 30 rolls around and someone shows you a video, oh, dude, check this out. I found a video of us back in high school. You'd be like, oh, my God, burn it. Burn it down.
I find it funny. He's embraced Texas, man. He's
good.
Every time I've seen him, he's wearing that stuff.
Good. He should. Texas is a great state. I love Texas. And, screw New York. F New York. Listen, Nana, I'm trying my best. I'm not cursing. So, did I curse once?
I don't know.
I haven't cursed once, right?
I haven't been paying attention. I'm so used to you doing it.
I know, but it's bad. I haven't cursed. I think maybe I might have said one, but I haven't cursed. So I'm trying. Anyway, the East Coast Trials is coming up in November. They just announced a couple of more additions to it. I'll tell you right now. I had it just pulled up here. Where are we? So they added 𝗶𝗧𝘂𝘆, Johnny Grippo, Juni Ocasio, and Damian Anderson to the East Coast Trials 66 kilogram division. So I'm really, really looking forward to the trials. It's going to be pretty awesome. And supposedly, the 𝗶𝗧𝘂 is saying that there's 800 registered competitors for the trials. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that are going to compete.
Jay-Z's doing it.
Good. I think Jay-Z will definitely go towards
Jay-Z had a huge win at the Worlds.
Yeah.
Over Renato Canuto.
Yeah. It's funny, actually, I tagged him. Somebody posted a video of someone trying to go for the fancy armbar, and it was the same thing that Jay-Z did. I was like, Jay-Z has entered the room. And he comes back and replies to mine. He's like, available on DVD now.
Yeah, he did. He's
the G-Lock.
He did a BJJ Fanatics.
Yeah, guys, go get that G-Lock DVD. Surprised, I will say I'm kind of offended that he didn't hook us up with a free copy. Just saying.
I know how to do it.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna do the.
No, I didn't say I'm gonna do it.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
But
I did do it once. Twice.
I said I know how to do it. Like I know the secrets.
Oh, you know the secrets. All right, your ancient Chinese secrets. Or I should do the meme like you keep your secrets. Yeah, so make sure you guys pay attention to the East Coast Trial. Speaking of which, ADCC tickets are out next week. So your boy's going to be there. I don't know if this guy's coming. He says he's coming. But I'm going. I can guarantee you my ticket is going to be bought. I am going to be down there first day. I learned my lesson. I thought I was going to be one of the first people in line to like the day of the show, people had already been there. You get your pass, my man, and you get there early if you want a good seat. And then the worst part comes in having to sit there the whole day. So I have a feeling it's going to be assigned seats this time around. And I forget the name of the venue. I had it this morning. But it's going to be good. This ADCC is going to be one for the history books, I think, because there is a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of people. And then we haven't even talked about whether or not.
And there's a lot of drama.
With who?
Gordon.
Gordon. No, whatever. Listen, I don't even know if it's gonna happen.
Gordon and
if that
Galval.
happens,
No, it's already signed.
They said
signed contracts.
Yeah, whatever. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. God forbid. Listen, look at what happened last time. The week before.
We have a lot of other drama
with
as well. Who runs ADCC and who's going to be in ADCC?
Who? What are you talking about?
Who runs ADCC?
Mo. Oh, you're talking about Mo?
Yes.
Oh, whatever. Cyborg's not going to be at ADCC.
Yes, he is.
He's going to compete at. Oh, yeah, he did say he's going to compete. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Listen, Mo is not going to shy away from whatever. Like, at the end of the day, business is business. He's sitting there. He's going to put him out there. He's probably still going to rip into him the whole time. Nothing's going to happen. Cyborg is not going to say a single word to him about that when it comes to ADCC. And if he's going to confront him, they're going to confront him like at some other point. But it's not going to be at ADCC with whatever. And I guarantee you that most likely, I will put money on it today, that when if he makes it to ADCC, when Cyborg is announced or he steps on the mat, he's going to get booed. I do not see it going any other way. I think that the amount of stuff that's getting kicked up, I think it's only going to get worse.
No, it's done.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so at all.
There's nothing else that's going to come out.
I don't think so. ESPN is working on it.
Yeah, but it's the same story.
I don't think so. ESPN is doing a whole other thing on it. Like, they're going to sit there and work with the writer of that article. I don't think it's going to get any easier. Listen, it's not like I'm wishing ill will on anybody. All I want is justice for the people. But the backlash of everything that's coming out, or that did come out, I think it's just gonna keep on going. There is potential where it just goes by the wayside, and I think the problem is there's been a couple of people that are trying to jump onto the bandwagon with this and trying to make it like their own little like crusade, and it's like, you're not gonna do anything. You're not going to do anything because you're hypocrites. There's a lot of hypocrites in jiu-jitsu, and they're going to try and do their own version of a cancel culture or a Me Too or something like that. But meanwhile, they're being hypocritical on stuff. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But it don't matter because I'm going to ADCC. I'm getting my tickets as soon as they come out next week. And you don't know if you're going to go or not.
Yeah, I got to see how this job transition goes.
Oh, yeah. That's starting, in a week or so?
November 1st, yep.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate all the support. Please, if you take the time to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, wherever you're listening to or watching us, it's one click for you, but it means a lot for us to help get the podcast out there. Don't forget to check out the sponsors, 𝗀𝗄𝘆𝗀, Jiu-Jitsu STFU, and AJG Fight. Go give them a shout out. Check them out on the links below if you're listening, or if you're watching us on YouTube, rather. And if you're listening to us, check out the description of the podcast. You'll get a link there. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Jiu-Jitsu Radio, on Instagram and on TikTok now. So other than that, we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.